everybody, this is Feriel, your US and Canadian immigration lawyer, bringing you the most up-to-date information on Canadian and US immigration law. With the outbreak of COVID-19, Canada has put in many measures, and so the Canadian immigration law is evolving quite rapidly. On March 16th, the Prime Minister announced a travel ban to all foreign nationals coming into Canada through air travel. With regards to foreign nationals, if they have resided in the US for the last 14 days and are asymptomatic, they will be able to enter through air travel into Canada. However, foreign nationals who have been outside the US or Canada for 14 days will not be able to re-enter Canada. Now, there were some exemptions to the travel ban for Canadian citizens, permanent residents, and their immediate relatives. On March 23rd, there was an order in council that further defined who was considered an immediate relative. Immediate relatives were defined as your spouse, common law, dependent children of dependent children. It then expanded immediate relatives to include parents, step-parents, guardians, and tutors. As far as allowing guardians and tutors into Canada for air travel, I'm thinking that would be somebody's teacher or a home care worker who's taking care of an elder person, but there hasn't been further definition of what constitutes the guardian or the tutor right now. Canada and the US have also agreed to temporarily restrict non-essential travel through all the land borders of Canada and USA. The land travel restrictions are now in effect since March 21st and will be ongoing for 30 days, and then they will be reviewed. Now, since the travel restrictions were announced, there have been exemptions that have been updated. Exemptions include temporary foreign workers as well as international students. The exemption for temporary foreign workers seems logical because Canada still wants to promote their economy during this crisis. As far as international students, they must have a valid study permit that was in effect before the ban on March 18th, 2020. So as long as you have a valid study permit that is effective before March 18th, you will be able to enter Canada. There's also been an update with regards to permanent resident applicants, and they are exempted and are permitted to enter Canada so long as they have an approved permanent residence prior to March 16th, 2020 and have not landed in Canada as of yet. In-person permanent resident landing appointments have been canceled through to April 13, 2020, and you will receive a notification when your appointment will be rescheduled. The exemption for workers, students, and approved permanent residents has not been implemented yet, so do not travel as of yet. So that's it for all the restrictions and all the bans. Everything else continues to move with regards to IRCC and the Provincial Nominee programs. Nothing has closed. IRCC had two express entry draws, one on the 19th and one on the 23rd of March, just 5 days between each other. On March 19th, 668 invitations to apply were issued under the Express Entry program. Now, candidates had a score of 720, which is quite high compared to the normal draws, which range between 470 to 472. Now, this is because all the 668 candidates that were issued invitations had a provincial nominee approval. So therefore, they had 600 points added to their comprehensive ranking score. On March 23rd, less than 5 days later, there was another draw for Express Entry, and 3,230 32 invitation to applies were issued under the Canadian Experience class. Now with the Canadian Experience class, you must have a minimum of 1 year Canadian work experience in the last 3 years in one of the professional NOx 0A or B occupations. So the last two draws have been very targeted. The first one for those with provincial nominations and just the last one for those with Canadian Experience class. So we don't know what's going to happen for the next draw. Scores could be lowered, scores may increase, it could be targeted, but you should just get your applications in because IRCC has not stopped any of the programs and express entry continues to be on a move. As of now, all provincial nominee and pilot programs are still operating with expected delays in many of the provinces. There are two updates that did occur, and the first one was that Prince Edward Island decided not to conduct their draw. Of all the provinces, they're the only one that didn't conduct their draw as scheduled, and this of course is because of the continued COVID scare and the operating hours being reduced and also the staff being reduced in many of the provinces and provincial nominee offices. So as of now, PEI did not hold its draw that was expected on March 19th, 2020. Second of all, with regards to Newfoundland, they have gone to paperless applications. So they have announced that they will no longer accept paper applications for their Newfoundland Provincial Nominee Program or also for the Atlantic Immigrant Nominee Program, which they are part of the Atlantic provinces, and you can apply under them for the AIPP. However, again, it's going to only be online applications. I hope you enjoyed our video today. We will continue to keep you updated with all the latest information as we receive it. If you like the content today, please subscribe to the button below and like me on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you for tuning in.